Hello, I'm Elisa Zhang, and I'm a physician and life coach. Today's topic is debt. Now, most people don't like being in debt, and most people think of debt as a bad thing. But debt is not evil. It's not a horrible thing. Even if you have consumer debt, you are not a horrible person. Debt is neutral. Debt just is. Sometimes people talk about good debt, like the mortgage on your home, and bad debt, like credit card debt. But all debt is just debt. It's just money that you owe. So let's take a peek at your thoughts about debt. Are you embarrassed about your debt? Do you feel shame about your debt? Do you judge yourself for having debt? There's really no upside to this, and it's not useful. The first step to managing your debt is just to add it all up and understand it. For us physicians, a lot of that debt could just be educational debt. Undergrad and med school is very expensive in the United States, and it does leave us with a lot of debt. Lots of times people think about this as good debt, but still debt that can really weigh on our minds if we let it. So understand what your debt is made up of and how much there is. This is a huge piece. Like someone who doesn't want to get on the scale, if you don't know how much debt you have, you don't know where you are. And if you don't know where you are, it's hard to make a map out and plan where to go and how to get rid of that debt. You need to get some authority over your debt in order to be able to make some decisions. And again, remember, debt is neutral. If you've got $50,000 in debt, $100,000 in debt, $400,000 in debt, it's all just neutral. Basically, what you are doing when you go into debt is that you are buying money. I'm going to buy some money so I can buy an item. That's what debt is. I don't have the money, so I'm going to buy the money so I can buy the item. Then I will pay for the item, and then I will also have to pay for the money. So once you do that, the item is paid for, but the money is not yet paid for. Debt is just buying money that you don't have. So ask yourself, what did that money cost? If you borrow $10,000, how much do you have to pay back in order to have had that $10,000? You have to pay the money back. What do you have to pay on top of that? So if you borrow $10,000 and you have to pay, $10,000 and pay $11,000, then you have to pay $1,000 more to buy that $10,000. And don't think of debt as a monthly payment. Look at the total amount of debt and the total amount that you have to pay for in order for that money. How much did you buy that money for? Look at all of your debt and look at what did that money buy. Do this from a place of neutrality. Not judging yourself in this process is going to be huge. You want to go ahead and list out all your different kinds of debt and the interest rate. So that interest rate is basically what you are paying on top of that money in order to have had that money to buy whatever you bought, whether it's your car, your house, or your medical school degree. And generally, a lower interest rate is better because that means you're paying less for that money that you borrowed. You typically want to go ahead and decrease the highest interest rate debt first. Once you pay that down, go to the next highest interest rate. If you can consolidate your debt and bring down the interest rate, that's also something you can do to help decrease your debt. Once you've got all your debt laid out and in front of you, you can really start to figure out how you want to tackle that debt. Look at all your monthly income that you have after your monthly expenses and see how you can apply it towards the debt. And again, I typically recommend starting with the highest interest rate first. So sometimes people like to start with the lowest balance so that they can just get rid of that line item on debt. It can go either way, but whatever's going to keep you motivated is also going to be helpful here. And then you just want to start paying down that debt every month. You may also want to think about how you can actually either earn more money in order to have more money to pay down that debt, or how you can create more money. One of the easiest ways to create money is actually to sell things. Maybe you bought something on a credit card, which you're now paying interest on, and you don't actually want that item anymore. Well, maybe you get on eBay and sell it, and you can retain some value or give that value to somebody else. And now that money can go to pay down your debt. You know, you can look around your home and see, what do you not want anymore? What don't you use anymore? And what could be of value to someone else that someone will pay for it? That's the fastest way to create money. If you like more thoughts about how to reduce your debt and pay off all that debt, come work with me. You can set up a consult at my website, growyourwealthymindset.com. We can talk about your debt, your feelings about debt, and really work through those feelings, and then get on a plan to tackle how you're going to pay down that debt. I'd love to work with you.